Welcome back to another episode of the world premiere Word on the Streets, where real conversations meet real elevation. Every week, we break down the mindset, the money moves, and the mastery required to build a life you don't have to escape from. And today's topic cuts right to the core, the only way to get better. We're talking about growth that shows up in your habits, your decisions, and yes, in your real estate portfolio. Because getting better isn't just about feeling different, it's about living different. It's about owning your time, owning your discipline, and eventually, owning the ground you stand on. Now sit back and let's get locked in. Make no mistake, this is the world premiere Word on the Streets.
Greetings and welcome to the world premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday at 7:30 Central Standard Time. Don't miss out. After a week full of noise, constant confusion, and distraction, this is the show that cuts through the clutter. It's the hour of the week where real talk meets real truth. We bring conversations that challenge the status quo and stir something deeper in the soul. This isn't just commentary, it's clarity, purpose, and elevation. When you tune in, you're not just watching, you're waking up. A place where common sense still matters and lives. So, ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, this is the world premiere Word on the Streets. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Put your hearts and hands together for the man who discovered his purpose and lives it loud, Larry Extraordinaire Moulton. And Mr. Gotta Get Your Mind Right and Open Your Eyes to the Blind Truth, the motivator himself, the amazing Keith Fletcher. And the man who brings clarity to chaos with the voice of reason you can't ignore, the one and only Mr. Vincent Craig. Make no mistake, there is no word without our host. Welcome to the movement. Welcome to the message. Welcome to the world premiere Word on the Streets.
And good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening once again, everyone. Good evening once again. Make no mistake, friends, this is the world premiere Word on the Streets. And as always, we're so excited to be back with you all, friends. However, Fletcher and I, we have some disappointing news for many of you all out there. As you all may have noticed, there's only two of us tonight because our other friend, Vincent Craig, again have an obligation that is totally out of his control and out of his hand. But he told me personally how much he really missed this opportunity being here tonight, being with all of you all, friends. He's saddened about it, but it was just situation out of his control, out of his hand. So, friends, although he's not here physically, his spirit is here, and he send y'all his love and admiration. But have no fear, friends. You all know this man, friends. I am so excited. I think I'm probably one of the luckiest guy on the earth because I get an opportunity to be with both of these gentlemen, Mr. Craig and the amazing Keith Fletcher. Now, many of you all know Keith Fletcher independently on world premiere Word on the Streets. I know that because I see the many views that go to his platform on Facebook. 400, 500, 600, 800 checking out his live. And he go on 2 and 3 times a week. But not only is Fletcher on Facebook, he also have his YouTube channel called The Blind Truth. And you can find him on TikTok. And not only that, friends, you all know the man is an investor. into real estate. The man hadn't let anything slow him down. And I'm just excited that we can have him on the world premiere Word on the Streets each and every Thursday. With all of his busy activity, he always carved time out to be here with me and to be here with you. Show some love for the one and only, the amazing Mr. Keith Fletcher.
Thank y'all. Thank you, man. Thank y'all. How y'all doing today? How you doing?
Very good, man. Very good. Just excited to be back and excited to be on, excited to be with you. Because to tell you the truth, Fletcher, and to tell you the truth, world premiere Word on the Streets community, this is a topic that probably would be more like many of you all who are tuning in because as so many topics that we undertake on this platform, so many of them are inspired by Fletcher because he's passionate. He's a restless kind of individual. And what I mean by restless, he's someone who is always beating the pavement, always beating the ground, scratching and clawing to find information, scratching and clawing to find things to help him get better, and does. When he find that nugget, he always want to contact and share what he discovered because he always in the process of how can we move forward. And I love that about him. He's genuine and he always thinking about the we instead of the me. And tonight topics, friend. Before we talk about tonight topics, let us mention last week we talked about toxic thinking is a scam. But tonight topics, we're going to be talking about the only way to get better. Now we're still in the first part of 2026. We at the end of January. And so many of us, we bringing in 25 into 26, 24 into 26, 23 into 26. But we're going to chop it up. Fletcher's going to enlighten us a lot. And I'm going to pull my journal out, my pen and pad, and I'm going to be taking notes. The only way to get better. So, friends, if you haven't already, text somebody and tell them to tune in to the world premiere Word on the Streets. We're about to go in the kitchen and cook some food. What's up, Fletcher? Come on in, man. Let's cook. I'm hungry. I'm ready to eat something.
What's up? Hey, it ain't nothing much, man. How you doing? Man, I want to extraordinary. You know, it makes me feel so big, man. He always pumping me up, but he ain't no small piece of cheese himself, man. The man has done a lot. I appreciate it. Look how we looking, man. Look what we done graduated to. All this stuff, all these screens, all these things that we make happen is cause extraordinary. So, hey, he try to make everybody else feel good, but without him, none of this be possible. Spend a lot of time on videos, man, commercials and stuff. So, nah, Big Al, how you say that? Big Al free doing the videos and changing out. So, nah, man, hey, this the reason we here. You know, he show up just like I'm showing up. He's showing up. He here before I'm here. So I want to thank him, man, for guiding me and helping me, man, working together. You know, trying to grow this thing.
Go ahead on, brother. Talk to
Yeah.
me.
We're talking about how we can get better, man. Man, I was having a talk with my son the other day with my family, and we were talking about getting up in the morning, getting up early. You know, I get on my boys a lot. They always sleeping in. You know, so my son said, "Well, Daddy, what's a reasonable time? You want somebody to get up at 5 in the morning like you? You want somebody to do this?" I said, "I want you to do what you have to do." You know what I'm saying? I said, "I get up early in the morning for what I have to do because I know how important my time is, and I know that time is a limited commodity. Time is very limited. You know what I'm saying? So I get up early to spend that time with myself, to be thinking to get better. What does it take?" I say, I said, the stuff that I'm learning is not just learning for myself. The things that I learned, I can pour into you. You know what I'm saying? I pour into your sister, pour into your mother. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just learning this. I'm not getting up searching and seeking things just for myself. I say so. That's why I get up early. So part of growth, man, and it make it determine what are you willing to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to get up early. I'm willing to have that long time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I'm spiritual. I talk about with the Most High, and I go over my day. I go over my week. I go over my calendar. I go over my physical. I work out in the morning. I go to mentally. I get my stuff mind right because some things that I have downloaded, some things that I've seen that I'm trying to understand, some things that I want to learn. You know what I'm saying? That math equation that you fighting with, something that I'm trying to get in my mind because my mind is telling me that I can't do it. My mind is saying, man, that's too big. How we gonna do that? Got all these other distractions going on. How you gonna focus on that? You got to. So I'm working with that daily, with that getting up early by myself, and then I'm working on financially. So I'm constantly working. I'm constantly trying to grow. So that's what getting to me, man. Getting up in the morning, man. Starting that habit, getting alone, and starting to research and trying to find somebody that's with me at the time. You know what I'm saying? Somebody even that I can get in a part of my community, a part of me to help me grow. You know what I'm saying? Not me just pointing to them. That's what I tell them. I'm saying I'm pointing to y'all, but I'm trying to find that person that can pull something to me to help me get to that next level, to help me grow. So that's my daily process. We talk about the be fruitful, do multiply, have dominion, being valuable, becoming something different than you were yesterday, so you can do more, so you can have more. That's what be going great to me.
Fletcher, you so often talk about that old you can't go, can't be where you are today. You talk about that with me often. And I was wondering with this topic that we came up with here, the only way to get better. What does that mean to you? The only way to get better, and how do that coexist with this ideal that that person that owe you can't go where the you are today and the you plan to be and go where tomorrow?
But my quote, I tell people, my quote is what not somebody gave it to me. Whatever you want to do in life, go figure it out. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? So trying to figure it out, doing whatever it takes, what I'm willing to take to get to that. You know what I'm saying? Being in the room, finding how can I be a part of that? How can I learn? So that's what me, man. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, getting up early in the morning. If that's what I got to do every day. If I got to do it, that's what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So That's what it is for me, man. Doing whatever it takes to get the information. You know what I'm saying? To be in the room. That's it for me. Like right now, I talk about when I lost everything at 34 and now that I'm 57 now, I go back and look at myself like, man, if I'd have known this at 34, it would have took me this long. Cause time again, my most limited quantity is time. And when you get to my age, like I said, I tell my kids all the time, the best person to take care of the old you is the young you. So I'm looking at my young me like, man, and I'm constantly doing that me. I'm not telling everybody but me. I'm looking at my young self saying, man, I could have did that different. But I did that different. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, looking at little things that I did in my young me that could have helped me, but I'm not letting that stop me. So now that I'm older, things that was younger, I can't do. I gotta speed it up. I gotta find a way, a vehicle to get me there faster because I don't have that much time. And that's what I'm always working on now. Not things, you know what I'm saying, not money. That all that's gonna come if I got the time. So how much I can do in that time, moving that time to make things happen. So that's the most important thing to me, man. That time.
This that title, man. It's a really title that grab you and make you stop.
Hmm.
The only way to get better, you know, because you and I, we have some very very powerful conversation frequently, and it never sees me that whenever you talk, and I'm not even sure you're aware of it because it's just your personality. You always talking from the standpoint of, like you just said, you teaching your son, and you. It's like it's selfless. It's not about you.
Hmm.
When did that start? When it stopped being about you?
I look back there. My mom used to tell me all the time, "Keith, you want to save the world, you want to save everybody." But that empty cup, I was trying to help people, but my cup was empty. You know what I'm saying? The things that I look back at helping them with were just a band-aid. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even help myself. So, when I seen something, that I guess at the time I look at it now, when I saw something, I was like, it was just different than what I thought something should be. I wanted to investigate. Like somebody like yourself, to the day I always wonder why some people live some way or how some people think a certain way. Because I thought one way, and I put the people around me that thought that way. But even the people that around me thought a certain way. I was like, hey, we can do this. Come on, man. Let's trying to bring them ahead. Because you know what I'm saying. I've been had that. When I learned something, I wanted to give to somebody else. That I thought that was important. At the time. In my ever since I was young, I always wanted to help somebody because I think I wanted it for myself, and I think I had so much because I come from a big family, and I think that's what it was because I come from a big family. Then when I got around people that didn't have family, I thought a certain way. I wanted to show them that, what I'm saying? Because that's what we came from. That's my foundation, loving one another, being in the family, being in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? So loving your brother, so I always wanted to help people, man. So I think that's what it was. But again, my helping was limited, because I didn't have nothing inside. My cup was pretty much empty. And I was trying to help somebody and I realized that I can't help nobody with empty cups. So I got to go fill my cup up. I had to become better. You know what I'm saying? If I want to help, nothing wrong with helping people, but if I wanted to help them without draining myself, taking my energy more, because I was consuming more energy trying to help them and do myself. So I had to find a better way to be better. You know what I'm saying? So I can help them be better, and we can do better to have better. You know what I'm saying? To work together, because two heads or three heads or four is better than one. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was for me. That's what I get there.
And that drives me right down the street. You pointed the car right down the street and where I am going, because I'm wondering the correlation of the only way to get better. How can you help someone, talk to someone right now about investing into real estate or what avenues or what have you to get better in their financial situation that they're in? And in 2026, they want to improve their financial situation. The only way to get better, what are some of the practical steps and things you think they should do?
But we use this word all last year and time on mindset. We use that all the time. But it, I'm telling you from a person that did it, the person that's still doing it, it's your mind, but it's belief. You gotta believe. You know what I'm saying? You gotta believe that you can do it. Now, belief ain't the only thing, but you gotta believe in yourself, and you gotta be tired of the situation you're in. Now, once you believe, you get to working on your belief, and you've been tired of your situation. How do I get out of this situation? Now, with me, I was tired of being tired, and I was tired of my old ways. That's why we always say you can't. That old person cannot go with you. I was ready to dump the old me. I'm tired. I'm frustrated, and nothing going the way I wanted. How did I get here? And I'm saying, and I remember when like I said, I'm in debt. My net worth was crap. I owed everybody, and I told myself, and a lot of things that my grandmother gave me, I talk about all the time. My kids laugh at me, and I remember she said, "Keith, it ain't how you start, it's how you finish." And I pondered on that again. I'm by myself going through this, looking at where I'm at, and again I'm doubting myself, and then I said one day, I said, you know what? Damn, I can't go no worse than this. All I can do is go up from here. Now, what it take for me to go up? Now, again, at that time, I didn't know. So I had to work with some issues with me. My divorce, I was failing. So I had to build myself up and make myself, just saying it, I had to get up, go to work. You know what I'm saying? Just get up to go to work, get a place, because I was just surviving. I had a surviving mindset. I didn't have nothing. I'm just trying to live life. I'm trying to have a little peace. Get up, go give me some place to stay, pay my bills, send my kids some money. It was just surviving. With nothing more than that. I want a job, but even the job that I wanted, I didn't have a certain amount of money. I didn't know anything I wanted. I just wanted to survive. That's what my mind was in. I just wanted to have a good time, go buy me a nice outfit, shoes, simple stuff I want. That's how low I was. And I was like, this ain't it. This ain't enough. So what do I need to do to get more? You know what I'm saying? What is more? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What really is more that I can't lose is the life that I had before was that.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like, how did I get to here? Because that must have been, I couldn't have been right if I'm here right I'm at now. So how do
yeah,
I get to the point that I never get back to that situation? You know,
yeah,
but
yeah,
make sure now, knowing what I know now, but back then, all I knew was to get a job. And all I knew the job was get a second job. You know what I'm saying? I just worked. I put my head down and said, and I just worked. And I worked and I met my wife and we both working two jobs. I ain't got the kids, I'm sending money, take care of them. My son came and made more work. I gotta work. And I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And I said, just working these jobs that ain't gonna make it. And I remember one time I had a job. I used to work a manager in clothing retail, and I got fired. And I got fired for something I didn't do, but I got fired, and I'm like, that's it. I got to go back to school. I remember I said I want to be IT. I want to be in computers. I'm going back to school, man. And I was in the military. I got the GI Bill, man, and I went back to school and I started working on myself. I started working on uh, my bills. I didn't have no driver license. I started working on paying. I owe IRS. I started working on paying IRS. I started saying all these things I'm gonna do. I started saying I'm gonna pay my bills. I'm gonna do this. I used to say I'm gonna be. I felt like I wasn't even a citizen because I didn't have no driver license. I was behind in my child support. I was behind. I owed everybody, and I'm saying I'm looking at myself like, hey, I can't live like this, man. And me doing it the same way, they're going that same speed, it's not gonna get me nowhere. I gotta do something drastic different. And I went to school and I started paying stuff. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't care if I had to sit in my house and not eat. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna do those things to get myself back up. So again, the sacrifice, man, and willingness. And then, like I say, I just believe. Now, I ain't have nothing to pour inside myself. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have nothing but belief. I believe I can get out of here. That's it. I didn't have the knowledge, the understanding. I just said I know, and I'm gonna go work, put my hand in the sand, and that was the beginning for me right there.
Okay, I need to ask you, and this is very important because people around the world is listening to this conversation right now. Were you afraid? Were you
I was afraid I was already with nothing. I was already living in no, I wouldn't say the hood, but I was living in a place. You know what I'm saying? My apartment. Yeah, I didn't have nothing to be scared of. I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't do nothing but go up. I kept telling myself, man, I can't do nothing but go up from here. You know what I'm saying? But again, I had no concept of money, man. That's like I said. I want people to understand. I'm at about 34. I'm dumb to the way this system works. So I could have got out there. It took me about 3 years to get stuff right. But if I knew what I knew now, it would have took me nothing. It would have took me no time. I probably would have done it in a year if I knew what I knew now. You know what I'm saying? But back then, I just knew to go to work. But then and then I thought I deserved to have fun. I thought I deserved to do this, and I thought what all these things I was being distracted, but all I had was work. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm living in a area that my rent is cheap. I got my rent was $500. My child support pay that. And like I said, I have me a few dollars. I go out for a little bit and come back home. My clothes. Buy me a little outfit here and there. But like I said, man, I was poverty. I was broke. I wasn't just broke. I was broken. My mind was broken. I was broke and broken. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I was at on that. And I met my wife. I had no furniture. We lived in an apartment. I was sleeping on the air mattress. And that right there mentally was like tearing me up. And she was dating me. She telling me, it's all right, man. You're going to be all right. You just want a time for you just here right now. And I'm like, I'm anxious. I want to go. I want to learn. So when I started going to school, I remember I had got an old computer and had to get an A plus certification. I took an old computer, man, and I just was breaking it down. I had computer parts all over my apartment. It was just me and her. And I was like, hey, don't touch none of this. I need to learn these things. Now that inspired me right there. And I'm reading a book and I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, and I burnt one of the computers up. I was like, yeah, but yeah.
Hungry, and you were searching.
Yeah, I was searching, seeking you shall find. So I'm trying to find a way, like, but I remember I tell this story, I met this guy and he came, I had to get my wife's computer messed up. And she said, nah, she seen me burn the other computer up. She like, nah, you're not going to touch my computer. So the guy came over. The guy came over and the guy was, he changed the memory on it. He breaking the cable. He go, and I'm thinking he the smartest dude. I'm like, I'm just blown my mind. Like, dude, you got your own company. Wow, man, you should be doing it. I said, I know you got money. This, and the guy just looking at me. Well, I do. All right, he's real modest.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Later on, I learned when I started learning, like, but what you don't know, you don't know. What he was doing was basic. You know what I'm saying? But me. That's when I realized, like, I don't know nothing, man. I don't know nothing. When I started learning, like, oh man, that dude didn't know nothing. This is the basic thing he was doing. So when I started seeing that part right there, and I'm like, I started looking through different eyes again. Now I'm becoming a different person. That person that I left. I started changing. I didn't care what nobody thought. That was it. I got a taste of it right there. When I got a
Right
taste
there.
of it, yeah, that
Right
was.
there.
Yeah, right there was
Right.
no holding me no more. No, I
And,
was
and right there, we're not gonna give it. We're not gonna give it all away this first half because, folks, you all want to come back for the second half because Fletcher's gonna talk about the change, the transformation, right there for him, what he did, what step he took, and he's gonna talk about the money. I know that's what y'all want to know. How do you get to the money? But he's gonna break it down to us. So when you walk away from this show, you will have a clearer and better understanding, friend. So don't go anywhere. We're gonna take a short commercial break, and you want to come back for part two because we're gonna break things down. Fletcher gonna talk about how he started making some changes in his life that he believed, and I believe, and we know it from living that you too can make these same small steps. It's not an overnight process, they small steps. But we're not going to give away all that right now. We're going to come back for part two. We want y'all to come back with us. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be back in a few moments.
Before we wrap up, I want to put something on your radar. Next week, we're diving into a conversation that flips the script on what equity really means. It's called Equity is a Mindset. And trust me, it's not just about property, it's about identity, discipline, and the legacy you're building every single day. This one's for you. Don't miss it. We'll see you next week on the world premiere Word on the Streets.
Check out this HP Ultrabook laptop. It's sleek, powerful, and ready for anything, perfect for work or play.
The HP Ultrabook in rose gold is a sleek, modern laptop built for students, creators, and everyday professionals who want reliable performance at a great price. With an Intel processor and 8 gigabytes of RAM, it handles schoolwork, browsing, Zoom calls, streaming, and light office tasks with ease. The 128GB SSD gives you fast startups and quick file access, and you also get 1TB of OneDrive cloud storage for documents, photos, and projects. Plus, Windows 11 with Copilot AI helps you research, write, organize, and stay productive wherever you are. A 14-inch anti-glare display, HD audio, spill-resistant keyboard, and lightweight design make it perfect for commuting, travel, and long study sessions. Stylish, portable, and practical, especially in rose gold. Originally $329.99, it's now 15% off at just $279.99. A dependable laptop with modern features at a price that's hard to beat.
This laptop comes with Copilot AI, which helps you stay productive wherever you are.
All right, family. Now it's time to go deeper. This is the moment where we peel back the layers, challenge old thinking, and get real about what's truly holding us back and what can finally push us forward. So grab your journals, lean in, and don't just listen, engage. And if something resonates with you tonight, do us a favor, subscribe, like, and share this message with someone who needs it. Because the conversation we're having,
Listen,
it's bigger than
before we
us.
dive
This
back
is
in, I
the
need you to
world
hear me
premiere
clearly.
word on the streets.
Getting better is not an accident. It's not a mood. It's not a moment of inspiration that hits you on a good day. Getting better is a decision you make when nobody's clapping, nobody's watching, and nobody's validating you. Some of you are waiting for motivation to show up like it's Amazon Prime. You want next day delivery on discipline. You want overnight shipping on transformation. But that's not how greatness works. You don't get better because you want to. You get better because you refuse to stay the same. You say you want more money, more freedom, more opportunity, but you're still negotiating with your excuses. You're still renting your habits. You're still leasing your potential. At some point, you've got to take ownership of your life the same way you take ownership of a property. You've got to walk into the mirror and say, "This is my land. This is my responsibility. This is my future." And hear me, the moment you take ownership, everything changes. Your energy changes, your decisions change, your circle changes, your results change. Because when you own your life, you stop waiting for permission and you start building your position. So keep pushing, keep growing, keep showing up for the version of you that's trying to break through. You're not just getting better for today, you're getting better for the legacy that's coming behind you. Now keep those comments coming as we get ready for our hosts to lock back in to the only way to get better. Let's dive back in.
Doesn't that song just like the man you all been listening to? Doesn't that song just like Keith Fletcher? Y'all heard the conversation.
That block.
It sounds just like what you've been talking about, man. So what? Look, I'm gonna sit back. Why don't you pick up where you left off at, man? Where
I
you was
just,
at? Oh, Fletcher just went offline. Raw, man. Come on back on, brother. Come on back on. There you go. Wow, you keep going on.
hold on. Hold on.
Right when things getting better, but that's all right. Part of the process, man. But we keep moving forward. This is a message that's obviously somebody needs to hear.
Go on there.
You're right. You're back on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm back up here. I'm on.
All right.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm on. I'm looking at you.
Yeah, go ahead on. Talk. We hear you.
I was just checking to make sure we the connection on there. Yeah. Let me tell you. Hold on a second. Yeah, now I want to tell you, man. I looked at that. You got the blog in the description. That blog
Yes.
in the description. Yeah,
Yes.
man. I listened to that. Man, I read that, man. That hey, all information in there right there, man. Like taking ownership is what he said. Taking ownership of your life. That's true. When you make a decision, and like I said, once I made the decision and I believed in myself, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, going to school and I started saying I'm gonna do this and do that. Then putting myself around different. So now I'm in school. I'm around different people, around people that been in IT. They started telling me how much money they making, and I'm like, what? Doing this? Now I'm my eyes, my ears. You know, what I'm saying? I'm listening now. So I think the biggest thing for me too, Sean, there, and I humbling myself to receive. You know, I already got the belief. I'm in a
Yes.
situation. I'm in
Yes.
the room,
You
but
was
just because
open
I'm there,
to receive.
yeah. Now I'm open to receive. And I'm seeing people doing it at a high level. And I'm not going to talk about but when I was in that poverty where I was living, where I hang with we were just it was just we were just trying to make it. We weren't talking about doing nothing to strive. We just partying, drinking, just trying to survive that day. Our mental, you know what I'm saying? Getting blown to get our mental, get through the work, you know what I'm saying? Get home and try to get through, try to find a place to relax because your mind is always going. And it's like it's going in circles because that's all I had inside of it. I'm trying to think of way, you know how you say, make $1 out of 15 cents. I'm trying to make for real. I was trying to make $1. You know what I'm saying? And I know what they meant because I was trying to make it and I didn't have nothing in there to get it with. You know what I'm saying? And the people around you is not getting it. So when I got in school and started being around other people and started talking, going like classes, having meetings, and it wasn't just about school all the time. It was a way of live. So I remember me and my wife, the Boosie song came out. You have your own house, own car, own. So they started saying that. And I told my girlfriend, wife now, my girlfriend at the time, I say, we're gonna have all that. I said, and I'm telling her, I'm saying, you're gonna have. She wanted this a legend, Aqua Legend. She's gonna want this car, and I say, I'm gonna get you the car you want, the car you dream. Now we dreaming. Now we doing a vision. I'm visionary now. We setting the vision. We're gonna have this, the kids, and she wanted kids. She told me what she wanted, and when I had that, I said, okay. I went there to the future. I really said, and I thought, re-engineering myself, how that look. How do that look? What I got to do? The guy I am cannot get none of those things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And none of those things I can get. So I'm gonna, I can't let nobody knock me off my stool. I can't get fired from a job. I can't, you know what I'm saying? So all these things I'm saying, and when I made the decision, I'm telling you, man, like Stronell said it to me one day, whatever you looking for is looking for you, So along the way, I'm trying to figure out a way, again, how to make that $1 out of 15 cents. And I remember my wife loved purses. She loved purses. And she had knockoff purses. And she was wanting to buy, Louis Vuitton and stuff like that. And so she used to get this book and catalog, and this guy was buying it. She was helping this guy make a catalog book and for him. I said, why are you doing that? Why don't you do it for yourself? Why don't you, sell purses for yourself? He got the hookup. Where the hookup at? Get it from him and get it. She like, yeah. She did a little bit. And I'm like, man, let me show you how to do this, man. I want you to get this, you know what I'm saying? Give me the stuff. And so I start selling purses. I go tell one of my friends about it. He get into it. I said, man, let's go and sell these purses. See, can we do this? I know you know more people than me. And I remember I told him instead of him helping, he went and did his own thing, right? So I laughed about now. He went, he tell everybody everything, but he did it. He both went, he got in. So I made a plan. I said, well, I'm going to sell, I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to just make sell half, half, but make my money back, build it up, make my money back. I just thought that's my first really entrepreneurial thing that I was doing. I didn't know it was entrepreneurial. I'm a hustler. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hustler. I can hustle anything. So I took it as a hustle. You know what I'm saying? I'm meeting people. I'm doing the purses and stuff. And I remember coming from the club one night, and I was telling my son and my kids this, how we got our house. I saw this guy on TV, and he said, you deserve a home. Don't you deserve a home? And I'm saying, I'm talking to the TV like, yeah, I deserve a home. You know what I'm saying? He's like, he said, well, bless your heart. He said, well, bless your heart. Bless your heart. He said it all the time. And the dude I'm talking about fly suit, he had jewelry on. He just clean. You know what I'm saying? His name Bob DeVay. I'm like, man, I used to see the commercials. I used to tell my wife, man, I keep seeing this guy. You ever saw this guy? She like, no. This is the part I want to get. So again, I see the dude again. I tell my wife, man, you don't never see this dude. I'm telling you, it's like he talking to me. She like, no. So I came to her again. She say, why don't you call the number? If you said it, and I tell my kids, I say, it's like I needed permission to do it.
Wow.
I needed somebody to say you have the permission, because I wouldn't believe it. I can have a house. You see what I'm saying? I didn't think that I deserved that. She say, well, why don't you call the number and see what they talking about? I said, you think I should? Is it bother you that much? Now, again, and then I trusted God. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. God want me to do this. What I'm saying. So, and I go to the place again. My cup is empty. I get there, and I get to meet the guy too. I get to meet the guy. And the lady take me there. She do my paperwork, do my credit, do all that stuff. And the lady, I said, she told me, he said, well, you can get a home up to 350,000. I'm like, I told my wife, I said, get up, man, let's go, man. We can't get no damn 300. I'm going off like, man, it's a scam. I'm like, and my wife just sitting there looking at me, shaking her head. Like I'm like, I knew this wasn't possible. I knew I couldn't do it. Now, you hear what I'm saying to myself? I knew I could.
Right.
I knew I. And the lady
Your
said,
self worth was so low.
so low. That's what I'm trying to say. I was so low. And that's what a lot of people is.
And that's where a lot
That's
of
what
us
a lot of
are.
people at. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm going on, but
No,
and the
no,
lady,
no. It's necessary.
and the lady told me, she said, Mr. Fletcher, I didn't say, I said you get up to. And I don't mean you have to buy a $350,000 house. Now, it's the limit. And I say all the time, lack and abundance is traveling the same route. It's traveling the same route. I'm trying to pull. All I know is lack. I don't understand though. I've seen abundance, not just for me, not happening like this for me in my mind. Like, nah, this can't, because I'm already doubting myself. And so the lady took me, and it's a process. They do the numbers. They help you find a house. You're a realtor. They got all the one house shop. I didn't know that at the time. But they do the finances. They got multiple banks they have, and they do everything. She the realtor. They take you to find. So it's a one house. They have everything. They fix your credit, help you fix your credit. So we started doing the stuff. And my mom gave me a book, How to Fix Your Credit. And we get in there, the guy talking to us about numbers, finance. We're not understanding that. So I'm getting mad because he's going over my head. And I tell him, man, look, you need to explain to me this in layman's terms. I'm not understanding nothing you're saying about these numbers and what you're saying, and interest and how much it's going to be in 30 years, 10 years. I got to put a down payment. I don't know nothing.
Mhm.
I'm like, she's like, what we going to do? So they got me somebody else, he's telling me. And my wife, she's not believing it. She's like, and both of us scared because she's like, I'm just happy where we at. We got a townhouse. Why we don't need to do all this? Because we don't want to be disappointed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when we get there, we go into the place and they take me to find a house. We go look at this house in this area in Texas, and I get there again. I got my pride too extraordinary. I'm my pride. I want to act like I know stuff, so I go meet how the sales guy. He in there with a nice suit, he professional, looking good, and he talking all these things, and I'm trying to like, yeah, yeah, you gonna give me all that. I'm trying to act, my wife looks up, and I leave. Then we had to come back, and the guy told me the things that he told me, he can't give it to me. Again, that's a disappointment. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Again, that old person come out too. The old person come out.
Yeah.
I'm mad not at him. That was mad. I'll be disappointed. Disappointed me in front of my wife. You know what I'm saying? And my wife is pregnant at this time.
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah. Your hope was up, and then all of a sudden, he dropped
he
that bomb.
dropped that bomb, yeah, another
Yeah.
disappointment. And guess what I do? Go off, forget this, let's go, you know what I'm saying? I know and I walked outside, I'm calling my brother because, I'm talking to him, he done bought a house. I'm like, man, this dude, I'm trying to get information. And my wife came out there, she said, calm down. I said, well, now let's go with you. He said, now I've been in there talking to the guy, why don't you come hear what he got to say? Just hear what he got to say. And I said, man, you think I'm about to let him school me twice? You know what I'm saying? Like, not where I'm from. We don't let nobody get there. Like, just live, And then I got an issue. He white, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't got no trust for him. And the
Yeah.
guy, I come back in there, and he started talking to him. He said, Mr. Fletcher, I'm so sorry. And he started explaining stuff to me why, it's a closed-out community. A lot of things we don't have anymore. They discontinue this. And he said, I can do this for you. He started telling me. So he said, just give me a chance to make it right. And so go through the process. I take the house. And the guy name is Dustin. And along the way, me and him become friends. We because I'm going to see him a lot. We're going over there talking to him and showing him a lot. We talk, building a relationship with him. You know what I'm saying?
Let me interject, Fletcher. This is very important. I want to say this, and you welcome to uh, uh, agree with it or not.
Mhm.
The only way to get better, friends. Some of you all are out there, and you may be just like Fletcher, just like I was, just like millions of people right now living in America. Man, is when you don't have that home. And that's what the only way to get better and to learn about this number thing, this credit thing, and improving your finance. You buy a car, you don't think about it. You buy outfits, you don't think about it. You take a vacation, you don't think about it. But I tell you what, the thing that forced Fletcher, the thing that forced myself, the thing that forced most people to learn about those numbers,
It's on.
when you invest in a home,
Yes.
when you talk about real estate, you could agree with me or not, brother.
I agree with you, brother. I agree with
Now, man, go on, continue from there, man.
we just throwing that saying that because it's such a big purchase. You know what I'm saying? It's such
Yeah,
a big purchase, man.
yeah.
And it's like, and
That's a lifetime investment.
a lifetime investment. So
Yeah,
you would
yeah.
learn, you want to learn. So like fast forward, and me and Dustin became friends, and they building a house, and we're going through the process. I'm fixing my credit. I'm calling the debt in. I'm doing all the steps, and then I'm seeing it working. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited about it. Me and my wife, doing the things together. And again, whatever looking for you, looking for you. Whatever you're looking for is looking for you.
Looking for you. That's
All
right.
these process, like saying, I went to school
That's
for
right.
computers. I'm working at. I took an entry level job. I told you I took an entry level job doing computer, talking on the phone. Then I get another job, finally working doing computers, working on switches and all this stuff. So I'm sitting at the job I went to school for, and it's got a lot of advancements in it, and I'm working. And by the time I'm working that, and I'm getting a house built, and the house being built, and again, I'm meeting Dustin, and I remember when we got the house, we had to put a down payment. So when you get a house, you got to go to the title company, and they say, okay, you got to put the down payment down. Again, I didn't know what a conventional or VHA loan was. I didn't know what the difference what there was. I just wanted a house. I didn't know enough down payment. They told me you got to put this down payment. I was like, I got that money. I didn't know why I'm putting it down. I didn't know what it went. I'm just want to get the house. And we get there, they tell me all this stuff. I got my check, I got my money ready. We signing all these papers and all this stuff, and they start telling me all these money back. I'm getting back. I'm getting this back, and this for this, and I'm not hitting them. I'm just saying, hey, you gonna take this check? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm trying to get his money to you. And when he
right.
came back, they said, no, we don't need no down payment.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like you don't need a down payment, and we're gonna give you. I think we got some money back. And well, anyway, so we get the keys. We come in the house. I remember like yesterday, me and my wife, we opened the door and we were standing at the front door. And we paused. I'm saying that we just stopped and we looked at each other and we said, "Man, it cannot be this easy. They're gonna come get these keys. It cannot." We both sitting there for about 30 minutes. For real, true story. Like it could not. But like I say, you hear all the stories about people didn't get how. You know what I'm saying? You hear all these things, and you going through the stuff, and we made it to the finish line, and we sitting there with the key, like this. They gonna come back and get these keys. Something gonna go wrong. They gonna say they gonna raise the payment. Something gonna go wrong. That's what we saying, like, cause it was a whirlwind, man, and we get in the house, and again, me and Dustin, the guy, sales guy, he lived in the community. We start working out. I'm working my job. IT. I'm just like everything is good. I'm still doing my purchases on the little side, and I remember Dustin called me one day because I couldn't work out no more. I had a little part time. I kept me a little part time gig. My head is in the sand. And he said, "Brother, what you doing?" I said, "Dustin, I'm working. You know what I'm saying? I'm working, man. It's like, man, you work too much, Keith. You got to enjoy life." I said, "Well, Dustin, I ain't got the money like you. Tell him." He like, well, I'm gonna get you a job at my company, man. You're gonna work up here. You know, he went to Baylor. He graduated Baylor. You know, he got a master's, so he's talking to me. You know what I'm saying? Dustin living life. He's younger than me. You know, he living better than me. He's younger than me. I'm just looking like enjoying life, and he's always trying to, go out with me, take me out and all that. I'm like, and he said, man, they hired at my company. You know, they got jobs, they got diversity. You got a beautiful smile, man. Your smile is, they're gonna love you. You know what I'm saying? That's how he talking to me, like, they're gonna love you, brother. They're gonna love, like, hey, man, doing what? I don't know nothing about no houses. And he said, oh man, construction, customer relation, man, you do customer service, you do it already, man. I done talked to you before, man. He said, man, I said, I started asking about the money. When he told me the money, he had a laugh. He said, yeah, send me your resume. I said, man, I already sent my resume to you. Man, you sure they gonna pay me that much money? And he's like, yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
but I'm working from home. But I'm gonna fast forward. The point I'm saying, I know I tell a long story, but along the way, it was people. Even though I didn't know, it was people. And the whole time that you see when I'm telling the story, I was trying to stop people. I was trying to stop somebody from helping me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was fighting all my doubts. You know what I'm saying? All my
Yeah.
lacks. Because I'm getting scared. I'm uncomfortable. And I don't want to be uncomfortable. I want to say all praise to the Most High. I kept going.
Now, when all these things started breaking from you, at some point, and you realized that you needed to understand uh, money better.
That's right now. Understanding the money part was when I'm working at the company. I'm making more money. You know what I'm saying? I bought my wife the car she wanted. I think that's when I learned to make money. Now, the house was cool, but I wanted to get a car. She wanted, and I went to the place I couldn't get a loan, and I didn't understand it. Man, I just bought a house. Now you tell me I can't get a loan for a car? You know, it was like, my, like man, and I'm upset. I'm upset. Like, man, I just bought a house. You know, like, see now I gotta learn about debt to raise your income. Well, your debt. What is that? What do that mean? What are you talking about, man? I know I can pay this car note. You know, this, and the lady told me. Had the lady that worked there. She said, I see your credit score. She said, why don't you go to the credit union? Because I'm trying to get it at the car dealer. I'm not trying to. I ain't not go to no bank. I'm at the car dealer place trying to get a thing. I never went to a bank and applied for a loan. You know what I'm saying? Applied for that. Again, even with my house, I didn't do it different. I went at a one-stop shop. So I like, man, they ain't gonna give me nothing. She said, yeah, go to this credit union so and so and put your information on. And I went to the credit union and they gave me a low interest rate. I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
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 yeah. That's what I started learning about money like that. That's what I started learning about credit and understanding. You got this on your credit. You can write a letter here. You can, the house stuff was part of it, but that's what I learned even more. Then understanding different type of vehicles, difference between a house and a car. You know what I'm saying? A loan and credit cards, understanding those things. So that was like that. Then when I wanted a credit card, I tell this story. I wanted a Walmart credit card. My wife was getting credit cards. She was getting a credit card. I'm fixing up credit, but I'm not getting no credit cards. Like I was like getting denied for a Walmart credit card. I'm like, what in the man? This is crazy. Why they won't give me no credit card? I'm like, man, and again, I just wanted credit, and then I realized, what do I need credit for? Because the credit card. Why do I want the credit card? You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna use it for? But to spend more, buy more. So I want to go back to something. Sure, that back when I first started, people have debt. Now, once I got out of debt, let me say that once I got out from being under no driver license, no that. After that, I didn't have no debt. I didn't have no car note because I didn't have no car note. I didn't have no credit card. It's like it was the best thing for me. When I came out of my situation, coming up through my situation, I couldn't afford a car, so I had a used car. I couldn't get a credit card because my credit was messed up.
what are you saying? Some at that point, being in a bad situation was a good situation.
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't do nothing but go up if I pay those things. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I came up. Now I didn't have to. I had to work. If I'd had a car note and try, it took me longer. So like you said, being in that situation helped me. So what I'm saying, I want to go back to that point right there. I didn't have those things. Now I had tickets. I had this. I had child. All those stuff. I can take care of that. But if I'd had all those things and the car note and the credit cards, you know what I'm saying? Oh my!
Mhm.
Like I say, it'd have took me even longer. You know what I'm saying? It'd have been. So I know people that's going through this.
Yeah,
That part is hard. I
that's
get that.
hard.
You got to have a system. Now that I'm moving forward, like I said, but the point that got me to the point, like I'm making more money than I made before, and again, lifestyle creep. That I got all the things I said, but lifestyle keeping creeping. You know, so I'm sitting there looking at. I had more money back then than I had now. Like how I'm making more money. I have way more money after everything, but I'm here now. I got more things, but I don't have. I got less money. That was it for me right there, Now that was like
Mhm.
I got all the way here. I got the cars, I got the house, I got the, but and I'm working more, but I got less money. That's something's wrong with that. Something's wrong. This it can't
Now,
be.
when you finally figure it out, what I love most about this story is that when you finally figure it out, just as you have done in other areas in your life, you didn't keep it to yourself. To my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong. You and your wife, when you finally figure out how to make this thing that was heavy on your back, this credit thing, when you learn and finally figure it out, you start trying to help other people figure it out and help them find their way out by repairing and fixing their credit and moving forward.
Yeah, that was the part. Like, but when I first did it with my wife, it was my whole thing with my household. You know, I didn't want to be no hypocrite. I remember I told my wife, I said, look at that. We had all the stuff like a budget wrote out, and I say, man, look at the things that we don't have to pay for. She like, baby, we got to pay for everything. I said, now some of the things we don't have to pay. Some of the things we don't have to have. And she like, well, what? I said, what? Why? Now I got credit card, we got car note, we don't have to have that. We don't have to have those things. Imagine we took all them things and we had it. Look how much money we would save. You know, look at we get on a budget and get a plan, how much money we would save. You know what I'm saying? We are so once we got that, then I start, the credit and start helping people with their credit. That's what it was. Because the book, remember, I got the book from my mom, and then I'm using it and working it, and I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? The book, I'm learning about credit scores and how you credit you. But then again, so there is levels. You know, at the time, I wanted to have credit to get a credit card to buy more stuff. That's what I want. I want to like, and now that I see that I got the stuff, and my wife got the credit card. My wife got multiple credit cards, and I'm paying off the credit cards. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, it got to be a way. So when we got
Yeah,
done with that, you know what I'm saying? I started learning, helping people. It wasn't just helping them with credit; it was helping them get out of their situation. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I start like studying. You know what I'm saying? Really studying it and meeting different people because whatever you want to do in life, go figure out. Someone told me that. Now I'm trying to figure out problems, solve problems. And when you come solving problems, you become valuable. So again, my first thing, remember I told you all I knew was to get a job and work for a
mhm,
job. But now I'm selling those purses, and I'm realizing I'm an entrepreneur now. I'm selling purses. I'm working. I can do this myself. You know what I'm saying? How can I transition to my own? You know what I'm saying? How can I transition to having something on my own? So the purses was the first thing to getting over. Even though I bought a house, I didn't think about land and all this other stuff. But the person was like, okay, getting into a business. You know what I'm saying? And then when I got the person and I'm at my job and I'm making the money now, when I cut the debt out, now I'm like, man, my neighbor used to talk about buying houses. Like the house next to his, the house at the time was like 70 some $1,000, and now the house worth 300,000, like $300,000. And we like, man, we could have bought. We talking about what we could. We talk about we gonna do this, I got tired of talking. I said, man, I'm tired of talking, man. I gotta find a way. And You know, if I got to collab with somebody, so that's collab with my brother. That was my brother. He wanted to do some real estate. We start talking. I start studying, reading books, meet people, man. And I'm telling him again, he see the old Keith now. You know, just because you don't change, don't mean everybody else see that change in you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling him, man, I want to get. I'm telling him that I want to be in real estate and I want to do it with him. You know, I'm like, I'm learning that collab because I got kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I need the money. I don't want to spend it all, but I got this much, and it'd be better if I come in with him. I can't take the weight on by myself. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. Like, again, lack. I'm thinking with fear. You know, so that what I partnered with him, and when I partnered with my brother, you know, all these things start happening. So I know it took a long story, but and then you know, he started teaching me about, like, again, I'm gonna go back again. All I knew was two things back when I'm at 34. I knew to work, get a full-time job, get a part-time job. Now I'm here. I learned how to buy a house. I learned how to fix credit. I learned how to get a business. I'm learning now these all the different vehicles. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to get out of debt. I'm learning these are vehicles that I can drive that can help me. You know what I'm saying? That I can
Yes.
solve problems. I can make
Yes.
money solving problems. Now, I get with my brother. He started telling me about uh, 401k and investing. And he tell me about investing, and I'm sitting up there like, yeah, I'm good on that. Then I had another friend telling me about talking about investing. Yeah, you know, this guy, this Tesla. I'm like, man, what is this Tesla stuff, man? You know, I'm telling you, man, you need to get into Tesla. You know, these people telling me about investing, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I do a little bit in my 401k. You know, I got enough on my plate right now, man. I'm trying to figure this out. You know, I'm on this real estate thing. I'm trying to work that. I'm trying to, you know, start a business. I'm trying, you know, I kept blowing it off, and that was the last leg for me. Like, we got the real
So,
estate store, started business. Go
so
ahead.
to sum things up, brother, before we get out of here,
I
if
know we
you
got to go
had
along story.
no, brother, listen. The only way to get better, Fletcher, to put a bow on this conversation that we've been having, that you've been having with the community. Why don't you just sum up from your perspective? The only way to get better and move forward is the only way to get better. You will say what to the people?
Get a skill. Get your mind right, belief. Get your mind right. Get your skill. Get your skill. Like I said, try now. I tell people I did 4 pillars: spiritually, health, physical health, mental health, and financial. So I would say belief. Believe it in yourself. Have a belief. Sit down and just come up. What do you want to be? Now, just because you saying you writing this out, where you want to be, what you want to have, and dream big. I'm talking about dream big as hell. Like I said, your dream should scare you. It should scare the mess out of you. Now, secondly, prepare yourself. I say physically, I work out, get up in the morning, because you know what I'm saying. Because it's stressful. You need to get your body right and your mind right. What you read. My first investment would tell you, and they say it all the time, which is true, and I follow the investing in yourself. Once you figure out where you were going, now you can either go get some books. You need to get on YouTube. You need to indulge and just indulge yourself. Now, I say all the time, everybody deserves 2 hours to themselves. In those 2 hours, your time, you should be pouring into yourself, searching, seek, and you should find. To seek something, you got to question everything. So you should be pouring into them 2 hours every day. Get up early, go to bed late. Whatever you need to do, you should be pouring yourself into that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're single, like I tell my boy, you should be trying to figure out whatever you want to do in life and trying to figure it out. And that take time, ideas, you know. So then once you do that, get your skills. Now, let's just say strategize your money depending on what you want. If I can go back and do it again, extraordinary, I go by this rule. I do the 75, 15, 10. 75, live on 75% of my pay. And I do it right now. 15% I put investing, 10% go to savings. I keep a savings. I do 6 months savings. I had all my bills that I have to pay. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about subscription or cable, but all the bills, I add them all up, and whatever that amount is, I got to get 6 months, and I put that in. I'm saving that 10% till I get to that 6 months of saving. That's for me. Some people do 90. I'm at 3 months, 6 months. I'm gonna do nine, but 6 months, and I put that up. I put that in a savings account. Put that in a broker's account where I put mine as a broker. That's another thing. But I put that up, once I get there, and this is somebody that's not in debt, but as you say, you went in debt. If I get that, then the other 15%, I'm investing. If you got a 401k, you know what I'm saying? You got a 401k, or if you want to do a Roth account, but let's just say you just know about a 401k, because all I knew was about a 401k at my job. And I didn't know what to put it in. I just read the basics. I let them do it. I just got to start. I need to get inside the market. Get inside the market. Again, you learn it. Once you're in there, you're going to get that. You'll get there because you're teaching yourself about these things. Now, once you got your 401k, you're doing that. Make sure you're medical. That means, again, I had certain things. I used to say, I want all my kids to get braces. They teeth. I want their teeth straight. I want to have straight. So certain things I wanted for them to have. So insurance was big for me, and I'm gonna pay the max because I wanted certain insurance for my kids and stuff like that. So I made sure I had good insurance. I made sure I had life insurance. I made sure all those things right there are basic. So once I had those things right there, I would tell you right there, if you have any debt, and when I say insurance, you're gonna get an HSA account. You can get that, the money that you use, you can put them on it and give you a tax break. You know what I'm saying? You get breaks off taxes, and if you get the right one, at certain ones that it would put it in the stock market too. You don't never lose it. So it's always working. The money's working. That's what I say about working money, working capital. So now then I would take that, the rest of what I have. If you got some debt, credit card debt, just say you got car notes, man, me, knowing what I know, like I told you, I didn't have no car note, I didn't have no credit card debt, so that made it easy for me to free up money. You would say something, sure now?
Yes. So to wrap things up, next Thursday show we're going to be talking about equity, and
Yeah.
so all these tea leaves, he's just dropping, planting seeds. You want to tune in Thursday because we're going to talk more about these seeds that he's dropping right now at the end. So some of y'all may be grabbing paper and writing this stuff down. You'll have a whole hour and some to write these things down. To put a bow on it, friends, the only way to get better, as Fletcher motto is be, do, and have. Be, believe. In this case, he said, you got to believe in yourself. Fletcher, I heard you, brother. You got to believe in yourself because when you already down and out, if you don't believe in yourself, you may stay where you are. And where you are not getting you to where you want to go. Then you said you had to learn a skill. See, I was taking notes. I got my pen while you was talking, brother. Got to learn a skill. Then you say, then you got to invest in yourself. See, that's all in line with the things you talk about on your platform all the time. Be, do, and have. Man, that's powerful. That's some good stuff, right? Man, that is some good stuff. And this equity show, Fletcher gonna be back next Thursday. He's gonna dive into this. What man? I want to ask him. Help me understand what you mean by living off 75% of my income. How you do that? How do I just live on 75%? And I heard you say something about invest the 15, save the 10.
Mm-hmm.
Did I hear you correct, bro?
You heard me correct, bro.
I
Yep.
heard you correct. Okay. So we need to open up that book. Y'all want that book open? Come on back Thursday, friends. That's 7:30. 7:30 Thursday, y'all come on back in. See if y'all want to hear Fletcher talk about all of that.
And I just throw that in about, like, wherever you at, you can do that 75, 15, 10. Wherever you at,
Oh,
you don't
wait
have
a
to,
minute. Wait
yeah.
a minute. They could do that even if they was only earning 30,000 a year.
They can do it at wherever you at, you can do it.
That's encouraging, brother.
Yeah.
That's encouraging. Friends, man, it's been a blast, man. That was a meaty worth of information. I love it when you give us those stories because I like that because you humanize that this road is a real road. And you can't have these stories. He had those stories because those are real stories that happened to him. It's not something he saw on TV, not something he saw on the internet, not something he read. These was some, and you know it was real. I mean, some of his reaction and the things he said, the thing the experience he and his wife had, the way how he copped at the man who's when they gave him certain numbers, you can't make that up. You can't make that up. And for me, it simplified things for me that it make it believable that I can do that too. Somebody else out there probably feel that way too. You can, friends. You can do that too. And we're going to help you grow and build on that so you can not only do that, but go deeper. And the fantastic thing he just said, you could start where you are. Friends, we thank y'all so much for tuning in. We're going to ride out of here. Give us the last word, Fletcher, before that music come on.
Man, the best person to take care of the old you is the young you. I'm telling you, time is the most valuable commodity. So start taking care of where you at now. Start now to be able to take care of the old you. That's it.
And that wraps up another powerful episode of World Premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday evening at 7:30 Central Standard Time, and we'd love to have you join us again. So take a moment to subscribe, tap that like button, and become part of this growing community. Until next time, guard your thoughts, speak only what you truly want to experience, and stay laser focused on what matters. Your words shape your world, and your mindset fuels your mission. We'll see you again, same time, same place, right here on World Premiere Word on the Streets, where truth meets transformation. Stay strong, stay grounded, and as always, stay true.